welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome here to the Champions League. Barcelona will face Borussia Dortmund in a colossal clash at the Camp Nou, which could go a long way to deciding who goes through to the knockout stages. Barcelona have to avoid humiliation. They've got to find something within them to hit back. Will we do that tomorrow night? We're going to find out. We have to win. Kickoff will be coming to us at 9 PM local time, live from the Camp Nou in what should be a raucous atmosphere there as Barça welcome Borussia Dortmund. Here, guys, other times right around the world where you are, so you can get involved here in a big Champions League night. It has to go our way. But will it? And of course, here we do move on to your predictions. And I've got to say, I have never seen on the channel, probably not, such varied predictions from you guys. Because some people are still very, very confident right now in Barcelona. Some people believe that we'll just about get the win. But others, they think we could be on the receiving end here of a damaging defeat. And it really, really would be. But look, I think many of us here, we can understand that skepticism. Barca have got to step up. But we don't know if they will. Elsewhere in the Champions League from Group F, Slavia Prague will host Inter Milan at the same time as we play on that Wednesday evening that they're coming live from the Sinobo Stadium. And that game there could have big significance as well on what happens in this group, because we now move on to the group standings. And as you can see, at the top, it is tight. Barça, as it stands right now, do sit top of the group on 8 points. Dortmund in second on 7. Inter on 4. Slavia on 2. But after this match day, everything could change if results don't go our way. Because, for instance, if Dortmund came to the Camp Nou tomorrow night and won, they would there be on 10 points. And if Inter go away to Slavia and win, they'll move there on to 7. That would mean, on the final match day there of the Champions League group stage, we would head to the San Siro, knowing that if we lost, we'd find ourselves in the Europa League. And I think for all of us, I think for every single one of us right now, it's unthinkable. The Europa League, Barcelona, I mean, really? But honestly, guys, if we don't start to perform, if we don't step up, it could become a reality. So believe me when I say, stepping onto that pitch tomorrow, Barcelona, they're low on confidence, they're not firing right now, they're not performing. They have to put all that to one side and get the job done. Stand up, believe in yourselves, not only for qualification, not only to avoid yet another humiliation on our hands, but it's actually there for our own pride. Go out there, play for that badge, play for those fans. We want a performance, and we want it now. But just like we did speak about yesterday, where we detailed the struggles of both Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund, that video there is in the description if you do want to check that out, guys. It's safe to say that neither team will be exploding with confidence when they come onto the field tomorrow. And you can see that there, judging by the recent form over the past 5 games. Barcelona, Dortmund, exactly the same sort of results. But Barca here can at least hold on to the fact they've never actually lost to Dortmund in a competitive European game. They're unbeaten there over 3 games, with just the 1 win though, and 2 draws along the way. However, you only have to take yourselves back to September of this year in the Champions League, when we last met Dortmund in the reverse fixture of this one, to see exactly how close we were to losing that unbeaten record and actually losing a big game in that group, because it was an intense affair at the Signal Iduna Park. It was quite a surprise actually that both teams failed to score on the night in that 0-0 draw over 90 minutes, but it was actually even more of a surprise that in the end we managed to keep a clean sheet, because we were shaking. Towards the end of that game, our knees were going. We were very close to losing that game. But a few things do have to be pointed out. Number 1, Messi did start that game from the bench. He did come on, of course, but he was absolutely nowhere near fit and actually came back a little bit too soon. And also, just before half-time, you do have to say Jordi Alba's injury and the failure to have Junior Firpo on the bench really cost us on the night. But after that, they were dominant. Towards the end of that game, like I say, they were really putting pressure on us. They were dominating the game. The crowd were behind them. Brandt hit the bar with a great effort. Ter Stegen made a number of saves. And let's not forget, Marco Reus could have got all those 3 points if he'd stuck away his penalty. But Ter Stegen, man of the match for us, he kept us in that game. And speaking of our defensive concerns coming into this game, we do still have a number of issues, and that is because of suspension and injury. Starting here with Gerard Piqué, who after picking up his third yellow card against Slavia Prague the last time out, he will miss this game there with a one-match suspension. But to be fair, I think we can all agree that Gerard Piqué right now, he could actually do with a serious amount of rest. Of course, the Davis Cup is over now. Hopefully, he can get some rest, get back to his best, get his mind back on football, and that there could actually be a bit of a blessing. However, it's not exactly plain sailing with who will replace him. Clement Lenglet missed the game at the weekend against Leganés with a slight injury there. He only returned to training yesterday, and he's going to be really rushing back here, needs to get back into this team to start tomorrow. And then there's Samuel Umtiti, who played the full 90 minutes against Leganés on Saturday, which was great to see. But if he does appear again on Wednesday, that'll be 2 games there in the space of a few days. The last time there, he played 2 games in 1 week. That was 14 months ago. And that's the problem right now. Umtiti needs to get himself through this game, put in a good display, and then again, we can start to depend on him. And of course, that's before we even start to move on to the fullback areas where Nelson Semedo and Jordi Alba still remain on the sidelines with injury, and this, without a question, will be the biggest game, the biggest night of Junior Firpo's Barcelona career. A big performance needed from him, and I'm really hoping on the night he can step up. And when you move on there to the attacking areas, which I think it's safe to say hasn't exactly been roaring into life recently, the Barcelona forward line hasn't exactly got going with those combinations. And going by sports cover this morning, it still seems that there's only one spot to be fighting for in that front three. They say there the big question is, the big decision, as they put it, will be whether Griezmann starts or whether Ousmane Dembélé gets the nod there alongside Suarez and Lionel Messi. And it will be indeed a big night for Lionel Messi, who tomorrow will make his 700th appearance for Barcelona as he chases down there the all-time record, which right now, of course, is held by Xavi Hernandez. But just look at some of those stats. Absolutely incredible. Messi there so far, 699 games, 612 goals. Unbelievable there. 235 assists in the process. He scored 1 goal, 2 goals, hat-tricks, 4 goals. He's even scored 5 goals, of course, in this competition too. Will it be another night of Messi magic in the Champions League? Because I think we will need it. And if I actually had to highlight somebody from that Borussia Dortmund side to keep an eye on and really make sure that we keep tabs on, it wouldn't actually be one of the usual suspects in their attacking areas. Because I'm actually going to point out here, ACHRAF HAKIMI, the 21-year-old Moroccan fullback by trade, is currently on loan at Borussia Dortmund from Real Madrid. But this season in the Champions League, he's been immense in front of goal. He's their top goal scorer so far, 4 Champions League goals. He might play at right back tomorrow, he might play a bit further forward, and he can also play on the other side as well. But wherever he pops up, whatever runs he makes in behind, he's a very, very quick player. He certainly knows where the goal is too. And certainly, with our defence, the way we cope with pacey players, he will be one we have to keep an eye on. But if we do now move on to that starting lineup, and this right here is the team that I would expect Ernesto Valverde to go with coming into this game. There are a few things, though, that I have to note in this lineup. Ter Stegen starting in goal, Junior Firpo at left back. I think Sergio Roberto almost guaranteed there to come into right back, even though Wagué played pretty well on the weekend. I think Lenglet and Samuel Umtiti here will start at centre back. Obviously, Todibo is an option, but I don't see Valverde going down that road. Busquets holding. Arthur should return. Really expecting him here to return to the squad. That has to happen alongside Frenkie de Jong, but I wouldn't be all that surprised to see Arturo Vidal introduced at some point. Maybe de Jong to drop in here and Vidal to start there in that midfield, but of course it could also be the reliable hands of Sergio Busquets, and then on to the front three. Like we say, Messi's going to start. We know that Suarez is going to start undoubtedly under Ernesto Valverde. I feel like Valverde will probably in this game go with Antoine Griezmann, but of course do not rule out Ousmane Dembélé starting in what would be against his former side. And I always think if a player there is playing against his former team, I'd go out there and play them. I really would, because you always see players go out there with a bit more intensity, with a bit more of a point to prove, a real urgency about their play to actually make a point against their former employers. Dembélé here would want to shine, and I would play him on a night like this. He could perform. And when it comes to Barcelona right now, especially in these big matches, the score prediction is a very, very difficult task. But I am going to say Barca can win this. I'm going to go here with a narrow, slender, just about getting over the line. Barca 2, Dortmund 1. But like we say, what Barca will turn up, please tomorrow? Some kind of performance. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. What is your predictions? Who should start this game? What will the score be? And of course, tomorrow, I'll be right back here, as I hope you will be, to see what happens, and hopefully, Barca have a result. I'll see you soon, guys. Thanks as always for joining me, and until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.